and we're prepping. And they're prepping. So they were like, can you make sure to record? I don't even know if we'll have Wi-Fi because they have 100-mile-per-hour wind right now. So, okay, but I am so excited. And Cami, the ladies coming in tonight are like ready. They're hungry. I was just telling them, I'm like, I always love seeing stuff like this in this business, even 12 years in, because it tells people like what we've known to do for so long is still working and is like working in a major way. And so, okay, if you guys don't know Cami friended me and I was like, oh, what is this? And then I saw, I was like, oh, she's a part of It Works. And then I'm like sitting there and then we kind of started chit chatting and we realized that she is with Amanda Boucher and we were like, okay, this is so fun. And then I watched her just like go to town and take everything off the table that It Works is putting on. And I'm like, this is so awesome and so fun to watch for you. And so I'm gonna brag on you for just a little bit. She's probably gonna want to die just slightly, but I made her send me this stuff because I'm watching our leaderboard. And if you guys don't know, our app is so awesome. But when you're tracking certain things, you can see like this leaderboard. And Cami, as a brand new distributor, was at the top all freaking month long. Like all month long. And so you guys, when I see, like, I expect that from people who are like triples, presidentials, ambassadors. But when I see somebody up at the top that it says distributor, I'm like, holy freaking cow. Like, I love this. Okay. So I'm going to share with you. She went Ruby in 3 weeks. So she went Ruby last month. She just told me she's just nonchalantly, she's like, oh, I'm ready. I'm set to go Emerald at the 15th of the month. And so she earned, she sent this to me. She earned $150 from the Quick Start program in her first week, 300 the second week, 650 the third week. And then obviously as a Ruby, her commissions are pretty stinking good. So, and then we went back through and you guys, she enrolled over 40 Perks members and 4 distributors. So here's the deal. She's going to spill the tea for us. So Cami, can you first just start and tell me like how you saw this opportunity, why you started, what you started for, and just what you've even
Yeah.
felt in the last 3 weeks with getting going?
Yeah, so Amanda been chasing me for a while and just always, consistent about her messaging. And I saw that, she had all this freedom. She was traveling all the time, and then yet she was still making money and paying the bills. And then she retired as a dental hygienist. And I was like, look, I'm in the medical field and I would love to be able to retire. So I would love to be able to share and serve, and so I wanted to do what she was doing because she was doing something right? So then I finally said, okay, send me the info. And I was very skeptical at first. But then I became I was a product user before I actually started. This is my second go around with It Works as a product user. And so I was losing so much weight and I was like, okay, this is so too good to be true. Like, I need to sell this stuff because I want people to also have the same weight loss, that I've had success and then and make some money, right? And so I saw the opportunity to be able to do both, make money and be able to lose the weight. So, and I'm down 55 pounds in 12 months. So, and a lot of that is from It Works.
Yeah.
Um, my
Tell
husband's on it.
tell them what you're using and like just tell them what kind of your schedule looks like. Because I think everyone always wants to know that.
Yeah. So as far as product goes, I started with the cleanse first, and detox, and then I went in after the first month. I started doing the 30-day drop, non-caffeinated. I couldn't handle the TFXX or the TFXX. That just gave me the little jitters, and I'm not used to that much caffeine. And so I did the burn. And then after I did that for 3 months. And then I went into now I take the skinny, the aloe during the day, and I do the coffee in the morning. And that's it.
And you do, which coffee do you do?
I do the cold brew.
Yeah, she does the cold brew. She
Yep.
loves the cold brew. And I
Yep.
was asking her that stuff. And so I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I always feel like people are like, what are they doing? What does this look like for you? Okay, so
Yeah.
keep going.
Yeah.
So you got on there, you were starting to share the products, you got in the
Yep.
business.
Yep. Got in the business, and then So Amanda and I had this heart to heart, when I first started, and I was like, oh, that's a lot of work, I don't know if I could commit to the time. And she was like, look, you're making it harder than it really is. And so when I actually started diving into it the first week, I realized, okay, yeah, I am making it harder than I was because I'm a planner and I have to have spreadsheets and this and that. And so she sent me over the tools, which is the tracker, the daily tracker. And then she sent me over like the Ruby planner, right? Like, this is my goal, right? And I started to see how easy it was. One second, okay,
Yeah.
please.
What a gem. She's all, this is what I'd like to eat tonight. Vanessa, I see your question too. So we'll get that.
Okay, sorry. So yeah, so I lost my train of thought here, but yes. So I started just following literally the daily tracker, like make the post, and then I added to it because it says like post 3 times a day. I post 5 times a day because the more engagement I learned, engaging posts was the key, right? And I did it on all platforms. So I started seeing all the like adding to people every day, like just random people, right? From friends lists of friends lists, right? And it just started growing from there. And it was just so easy. And I was like, oh my gosh, why did I think this? Why did I stress about signing up, right? So yeah, just staying consistent, sending the messages, doing what the daily task says, and doing that every day, like literally just starts going, it starts flowing, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what I did. I mean, I'm following literally the tools that It Works provides.
Yeah, you're not recreating, you're not making things harder. So when
No.
you're getting your post, because you're posting that much a day, where are you grabbing
Mhm.
your post from? Are you copying from other people? You guys have a little like spreadsheet thing that you guys are doing? Or like, we have Telegram, so we can
Yeah.
post stories and things like that. But just
Yeah.
like, where are
So
you getting yours from?
yeah, so I'm using the boards that we have and I'm using other stories as well, but I am using my stories because I have success in weight loss. So I'm very vulnerable. I put out there my fat pics, and so I am using my story and my journey, my family's posts. I'm using church, motivational quotes from apostles or prophets, and so that's basically what I use, and I don't want to post all day long on It Works stuff, so I mix it up. One, I always try to say one product post, one opportunity post, one you know whether it's a I don't know what it's called, the weight loss stuff, whatever it is. I mix it up then with a motivational quote or an engagement quote, which is like, hey, settle this debate for me. What pie do you serve for Thanksgiving? So they're actually answering the question,
Yeah.
and then you could add their friends, on their friends list, and that's how it starts growing. And it just is so easy that way.
So tell me, are you doing host to post, or so far you've just been posting, growing your network, you're sharing your own before and afters? You guys, if you
Hmm.
go to her page, it is plastered everywhere and she shares her before and afters in a way, like sometimes it's her face pictures, right? She's doing side by side
Hmm.
face pictures. Sometimes I'll see you like go grab a photo from before and then you're like, I'm gonna put my photo from now next to it
Yeah.
just to kind of like mix it up. But it's she's being repetitive, but she's being consistent. And I think we talk
Yeah.
about this a lot, but like people need to see things 7 to 9 times. So you guys, if you're just randomly showing up 2 days out of the week, like that's going to for you to get the results compared to somebody posting 5 times,
Yeah.
like that's going to take a month compared to what she probably does in a week. And so again, it's just a decision of what you want to get out of it. And so is that what you tell us what you feel like has helped you sign over 40 customers in 3 weeks?
Yeah, so it's being yourself and telling your story, telling your why, and I got that from Amanda.
Yep.
Just starting and leading with that and just being consistent with that, because the more people like trust you and see your success, they're going to start believing it and wanting that. And that's been my success, is that, I'm just being vulnerable and throwing my story out there. Like, hey, I went through some medical health issues, for the last year, and I couldn't lose any weight to save my life. And I was struggling. I was depressed. It was affecting my marriage. Like, I was raw, and I think that people relate to that because that's everyday, relatable stories, and so people are like, okay, I need this, this
Well,
changed her life. And a lot of people even make comments like, oh, you look so happy now, like even happier than before.
and you know what? I think is so important that you say that. And I want you guys to stop and pause and hear that she's saying she's being vulnerable, because the truth is, I say this a lot too, is you guys, people coming in saying like, I need more income, like we're struggling, like we're stressed, like this is hurting my marriage. I can feel it in my family. Like that, they're coming from a vulnerable space, right? Or people who are like, I am struggling with hair loss, like it is ruining my confidence, or whatever it may be. Like we have to remember that, first of all, it's relatable because everybody has a struggle of some sort, right? And the cool thing is that we have the ability to serve and fulfill and give away to work through those struggles. But the other thing is that it opens up that trust factor. So when you guys are like, well, people will come and they're like, well, I don't have a huge network, or I don't know who would be my customers or whatever. And I'm like, if you just genuinely show up and start sharing you're going to attract people who feel very similar. And that's
Mm-hmm.
pretty cool. So, and then tell us too, so you got 4 distributors. How did you get your distributors, and like who were your first people? Like, are they neighbors? Are they just random people on Facebook that you've happened to add?
One,
Were they
yeah, so it's through my network. I also work in the medical industry. And so one was a daughter of somebody that I work with in the medical industry. The other was my husband. He jumped on board, and let me tell you, he was anti MLM. He was like, "No, don't do this. I've done it before. This is not good." And now he's a distributor. So,
yeah.
and he also uses the products. And so then him and then my cousin jumped on board, and I hadn't talked to her for years. She just saw my weight loss journey, and she's a ex beauty queen in pageants and stuff, and she was Miss Mexico for years. And so she gained some weight, and she's like, hey, whatever you're doing, I want in, and I want to make money at doing it.
Mhm.
So I got her on board. And then my other distributor was just somebody that through network group that I'm on Facebook, and I don't even know her.
Okay. So it's just like a random person.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then are you doing host to post too, or sending out like a certain number of messages? Do you have like
Yeah.
a goal
So
of how many messages you send?
yeah. So in the beginning, I just stuck to the daily list, which says I think 20 to 30 messages of host to post a day. I had to increase that to 40. So I have increased the host to post to 40. I've increased the follow ups to 20 to my customers. The host to post is where I struggle, but I do have host to posts out there right now, and they are working. So I have gotten several PMs from host to post. You
Yeah.
just have to, if it's not working, if you're only sending 20, send 40, and then you'll start seeing the numbers come in.
And when you say the list you're following, is it the KPI? It sounds like you're like working off the KPI list. Is that what it is? Or you guys, or is there like a checklist that you follow?
Um, so
I,
I
I
don't
was
know if,
trying to find mine. I was like, does it look like this?
yeah,
Is it like this?
yeah. So it's a color chart where it says,
Yeah.
posts and haps and opportunity posts, and then, your follow-ups and personal goals. I think it might be a KPI form.
Yeah. It sounds, so you guys, when she's telling you these things, it literally sounds like this list, which we all have access to. And I love it because again, you guys, you have the choice. If you're not getting what you want out of something, you have the choice to up those numbers. Like that's your decision that you get to make. So how much time do you think each day, like if you were to stop and add it up, how much do you think? Everyone always says this, and I'm like, no, just be honest, because people who are wanting to put like their foot on the gas pedal, how much time do you
Yeah.
think that you committed to spending each day? Like if you were to add it up?
Yeah, honestly, it's not much time at all. So I have scheduled posts, and I save them. So literally, like, I have my alarm set on, or timer set on my phone for 5 posts a day. So morning, midday, and evening, and then in between those is doing my engagement post or my family post or quote, whatever it is. Um, but I think I probably spend, because I do work a full-time job, I probably spend 30 minutes a day in posts, if that. And then for the follow up, it's another, and haps, I probably spend another maybe 30 minutes. Like, it's not a lot of time at all. The more posts that I'm sending out, or more messages I'm sending out, the better return. And that probably takes a little bit more time. So I probably would say if you're spending 2 hours to 3 hours a day, you're doing good.
Yeah. Right. And so, and that's like broken up, which is so, I mean, that's what you have to understand. And I love that you shared, like, you do work a full-time job. And
Yeah.
you guys, that is the freaking beauty of this business. Like, people don't have to give up anything to find success here. Like, I mean, literally some of us maybe gave up like aimless scrolling, or I remember for me, you guys, the one show I used to watch was Dancing with the Stars, and I joke and I was like, when I look back to think of what I gave up to gain so much in my business, it was literally my recorded show. My one and really, if I look back, I probably could have still fit it in somewhere, but I was like, I was so excited for where I was going that it was like, who cares about that? You know what I'm saying? So I want you to share this. You shared your schedule, which I know that there's two other questions I really want to ask you. So first of all, I want you just to share how important you feel it has been for your success, this fast success that you've had, having your own results. Because like sometimes when people come in and they're so worried about the auto ship, right? And I'm like, the auto ship is not there to take money out of your pocket. It is actually one of the best freaking tools that it helps you build this, literally can be a multi-million-dollar business without any skill, education, or anything on it. Like, I think sometimes people, instead of understanding how powerful and the success that lies in their auto ship, like they see it in such a different manner. So I really want you to share how you feel like having your own results has helped you sign over 40 some customers.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously having the results in my own weight loss, really, I've grown a testimony that the products actually work, and what I have done also, in addition to my own results and having that strong testimony, like, hey, like, my pictures are evident, people see me, in person, and they're like, oh my gosh, what have you been doing? This is what I've been doing. So just having that conversation all the time. I've also taken, I follow up with my current client list who's on the same products and say, hey, how's it going? How much weight have you lost this week? And I use I'll screenshot like their message, and I use that to basically promote more. It's like, hey, so and so, like, look at their results. This is their own words. You can talk with them. Or if they don't know the person, I'll just say, hey, this is a similar client. This is her own words. Take a look at this. She's had eight pounds lost this week, So that has helped me as well, because just having more fact, it's the customers are believing it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so and more evidence, because a lot of people know, like, nowadays with network marketing, we always have a portfolio of photos that we get to use, right? They'll always ask the question, like, okay, is she really on the product? Or a lot of people ask me this, like, are you on Ozempic? And I'm like, no, I'm not on Ozempic, so they'll always ask questions. So the more evidence and facts, that you can provide to them, then obviously it's an easy sell for them to invest that money and have it a reoccurring, on auto ship, and
Yes.
I don't even talk to people, like, when they start saying, well, can I cancel at any time? This is a program that is designed to work, but you got to do it and put in the effort at least 3 months, so that's the way I lead that conversation, just because I don't want to talk about cancellation or here's the cancellation fee. Don't even bring it up. Say this program was
Yep.
designed to work. It's clinically proven to work, but minimum you have to stay on it is 3 months, because you're not
Yeah.
going to see instant results. Everybody wants instant results. You're not going to have that with anything, not even Ozempic. you know?
Right. Right. No, and I think that's important is like having realistic expectations. And I'm sure Amanda's even taught you this, but I always tell people, I'm like, you guys, I always will answer the question of what they're asking, but like my next question, no matter what product they're asking me about, is like, what's your goal? Because if somebody says they want to lose 50 pounds, you guys, that's not going to happen in a month. Like, be real with people,
Right.
And
That's
so
right.
I think that that's important when to have happy customers and customers that are also going to be willing to post for you, but also customers like Cami who end up wanting to be a distributor and come in and have a testimony that's already written. Okay,
Right.
so share as a new distributor. Oh, sorry. Is that me? I feel like I'm echoing. I'm sorry, you guys. Okay, so one of the girls asked, what are your top 3 tips you'd give your new DT that helped you get started off strong?
So stay consistent is key. Number one thing, stay consistent and do follow up, because follow ups are super important. If you're following that KPI, that daily tracker, and you're doing the work, and you're consistent with it every single day, don't slack off. Like literally, I dabbled like the first week, and I was like, okay, but I'm all in. Like seriously, I plan to basically get out of the medical field and do this full time. That's my goal. Um, and I know it's attainable, but I say stay consistent, do the work, and show up for the trainings, because I think having positive motivation from others' successes helps motivate me more, because I know like, oh, it's achievable. Like I have talked to several diamond members, double diamonds and triple diamonds, and I'm like, okay, this I could do this, and whereas
Huh.
I believed like I didn't at first, but having that motivation on the team calls is so key, to keep me motivated, right? Keep me going.
And okay, I want you to backtrack because plugging in, how important do you feel like plugging in, like, so on the stuff that Amanda's providing for your weekly stuff, but also like on the Monday call, right? Where you're getting
Yep.
that vision, like how important do you feel like that has been for you?
Yeah, so super important. So I have a Monday check-in with Amanda, who's my upline, every week. That's like super important, because she's also asking like, "Hey, how's it going? Is there anything I could do for you? Any other resources or tools that you can provide me?" And we just have accountability check, right? What can I do better, right? And so we go over that, and then also just being on the calls each week with my team is just, I hear other stories. Like the last call, like literally was so touching. I almost cried. Like it literally was so touching. Just because I can see the values in the women, how motivated they all are, and it's a team, really like family, like sisters, right? And we're all here to help each other. And we set some goals, and one of my goals was is to get one of my rubies, who's a single mom, just a recent. She just had a baby recently, but she's a single mom. I want to see her succeed so that she could stay home with her baby, but also make good money, because she's strapped for cash. So
Yeah.
we all set a goal, and then I saw my upline's goals for us, which I thought was very touching, because she also wants the same thing for me that I want for for my girls.
Yeah, it's like the best, isn't it? Like you come in
Mhm.
here and you're like, I was not expecting the community that
Right?
I
No,
get,
you
right?
don't. Yeah,
No,
yeah,
I say this, I'm like, that's one of the things that sets this apart. Definitely, even sometimes people will be like, what's the difference between this and blogging? I'm like, oh, a lot. I was like, there's
yeah,
a
for
lot.
sure,
You're not
for
having
sure.
to invent, like you have a community, you're not by yourself. And really, it's like that is such an incredible blessing.
Yeah,
Okay, so really for you, some of the most helpful tools have been the check-in, the
yep.
call,
Hmm.
following your KPI list. Is there
Hmm.
anything else that you feel like has really helped you, like as a new distributor, get going and running?
Well, following the KPI was huge. That is definitely just staying consistent. I think also, um, I would say follow up, like follow
Yeah,
up with your current client list. Ask for referrals from them. Like say, hey, do you have a friend or family or neighbor that wants to do what you're doing? And so like I reached out to him, say, hey, how's your progress going? Oh, that's great. You lost 5 pounds. Like, do you know like a friend, family, or neighbor that wants to join in too? Like I could give them my discount as well. And so I
yeah,
get leads that way. And then also joining network is huge. Like joining book clubs and, HOA, like, subdivision networks or Facebook groups, like for moms, single moms, or, church moms, whatever it is, like you want to get involved like as much as you can.
Yeah.
And I'm also starting to do sip and samples, so we're going to be doing that. So taking it back to like the old school network marketing where we used to like do parties, and so like I'm going to be starting that. So
Well,
I
and
know
you
that
know
that's
what?
going to bring.
I was literally just telling somebody this. They were like, okay, Sarah, they were like, I want to put like my foot on the pedal. And I literally just said to her, I was like, when I did this and when I first started, like we weren't solely just doing social media, but we were dabbling because social media wasn't what it is now, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we were
Yeah.
dabbling into it. So like we were here, you guys, our posts were awful. Our pictures, our like everything was awful. Nothing was aesthetically pleasing like you see now. But you know what? It still worked. But I said to them, I was like, you know what? The other thing that I think people are missing is like just a belly to belly aspect, because the truth is, you guys, is our products, you have to think to yourself, when you first got your products or your auto ship, or you tasted something, or you kind of started paying attention to how you felt, like even 5 days or a weekend, you guys, our products really sell themselves. Like they speak for themselves, and there's just so much less talking that you have to do. So to think like, oh, you're just going to start getting into that, you're gonna see it literally just adds gas to the fire. I mean, it's just gonna like it explodes, because then you do the same thing almost like host to post, right? Like you start where you're like, I'm gonna book another one out of this. And I was saying to somebody, I was like, you guys, it's an hour and a half. And sometimes you walk away with 8 customers and 3 distributors. Like that's worth an hour and a half. Plus, you had fun and you've already connected with the new people that you just signed up, which is like
Mm-hmm.
there's strength in that. So I think too, to remember, you guys, like connecting and community is honestly something that so many people need right now. So like outside of the products and the financial aspect of what we have, like we have connection and we have community, and you have so much support in this business. And I think that's also just a game changer for so many people. Okay, I'm gonna let you go on your date night. Is there
Okay.
any last minute things that you would want to leave these ladies with that are either trying to go Ruby? Well, let's do that first. What would you say to
Okay.
the person that's trying to go Ruby?
Just stay on the path, just stay consistent, don't like give up and don't get discouraged, because it comes in waves. Like honestly, there are days that like I was like, what am I doing? Like I would get nothing. And then there's days, guess what, I signed 6 PMs in one day and one distributor. So don't give up. Like don't let that one day, you know um, affect your whole, the whole week, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
because it really comes in waves. And there's going to be a lot of people that, are waiting for a paycheck, or, and when they do say like, hey, I get paid on Friday, well, put it on your calendar that Kathy gets paid on Friday, and go back to her and say, hey, you said you're gonna, get paid on Friday, I'm here to follow up with you, are you ready to start,
Yeah.
um, so just stay organized, but don't get discouraged and stay on the path. Follow your KPI. It totally works.
Yeah, I love that you're following a list. I think that's really helpful for a lot of people, and they kind of skip out on printing something like this off. But I think it helps you. Like when you can see it, you're checking it off and you're holding yourself accountable, which is honestly, you guys, that's super important when you are your own boss and you're
Yeah.
building your own business. And there's so much beautiful things behind that, but you also need discipline, right? Because at the end of the day, it's still work and you still have to show up. And then what is one thing you would tell people that are trying to help people go Ruby that you were like, that really helped me?
Um, I would say being there to answer any questions, because sometimes, send a screenshot, of what they're asking, so that, you can give them coaching on and advice, because we're not nutritionists, right? But we do, like, once we get the hang of it and know how to respond to what plan that they should be on, or what program they should be on, or what package we should sell. You want to be available for anybody under you, to answer any questions, so that they feel like they're going to grow in confidence as well. Like like for me, like I grew in confidence the more I kept asking Amanda, like, hey, what do you think about this? Or he has this diagnosis, or she's, got thyroid. Like, what, how do I answer this?
Mhm.
Just being available for them and providing the resources and encouragement. I think that's important too.
Yeah. So having the open communication and just like
For sure.
knowing there's that partnership and making sure that your new person knows that. One thing I think that was really cool too is that you have a Monday check-in. Like that's kind of cool. Like and I think the thing is if it's like scheduled like that, people are ready to go, right? Instead of just like obviously you guys I'm sure are talking every single day anyways when you're growing that fast and you have conversations going, but also like knowing like, okay, Monday, we're going to check in and we're just going to see where we're at. I think that that is a really neat thing as well. So, let me see, what's her last name and what pack did she lose? Last name is Davidson. And then she did the 30-day drop. So she started with the cleanse and then she did the 30-day drop caffeine free. And then now
Correct.
you are on the morning trio.
I'm on the coffee and I'm on the skinny
Oh,
and
the
the
skinny gummies. Yes.
aloe. Yeah, and the aloe.
Okay. So that's what and are do you feel like that's like your maintenance?
That's my maintenance. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have
Maintenance.
not gained weight and I've not lost any more weight. So that's my maintenance mode.
Yeah.
My husband said I'm too skinny and I need to stay where I'm at.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much. And tell him thank you too for letting you hang out with us for just a little bit on date night.
You're
We
welcome.
appreciate you. Hey, I
Thank you.
saw his before and
Bye.
afters too. He's looking good.
Yes,
Thank you.
he just started it about 2 weeks, 3 weeks,
It's
What?
18 days.
18 days.
18
Yes.
Oh
days.
my
Yeah.
gosh. And do you feel so good?
Yeah. Do you feel
Yeah,
so good?
I'm doing well and feeling great. I'm looking
That's
forward to maybe switching things up
yeah.
and maybe start on the burn
Yeah.
sometime
Oh,
here
the
in the near
burn's
future.
good. The burn
Everybody
is
likes the
good.
burn. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
I'm
like
gonna.
the
Yeah,
burn too.
he's on flat, slimmer, and skinny. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna put him on the burn.
Yeah, she's like, this is what you're doing next.
Yes.
Okay, well, you guys have a wonderful night. Thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
being on with us tonight. It was so fun to have you.
Absolutely. All right. Take care.
Good
Bye.
night.
Bye.